Hello and welcome. I am CRYPTONEWS. Today is the 31st of July, 2026, and the top crypto news is as follows. Let us begin today's episode, dear audience, and we will head to Canada to see how adoption is going there, where things are going very well. Crypto holders in Canada have increased to 25% in 2026, up from 10% in 2023, according to new data from the Ontario Capital Markets Authority. It should be noted that the survey had a very good sample size of 2,360 people aged 18 and above, conducted between December 2025 and January 2026. It found that 59% of respondents were aware of crypto and 25% already held it, showing that adoption is going very well in Canada. Moving on to company news, we go to MicroStrategy, which announced losses of $8.2 billion in the second quarter due to the decline in Bitcoin, as was expected. Meanwhile, Coinbase is down close to 5%, and the reason is obviously that it missed its targets. Coinbase announced revenues of $1.22 billion in the second quarter, down 14% compared to the previous quarter, with net earnings of $459 million. It should be noted that Wall Street had expected the company to reach $1.29 billion in the second quarter, so since it missed that target, it dropped accordingly. The main reason Coinbase missed its targets was that the total spot trading volume in crypto fell by approximately 20% compared to the previous quarter. The reason is essentially that the altcoin market has not been performing very well, so public interest has declined. Additionally, perpetuals are gradually taking a larger and larger slice of the pie, and for exactly this reason, because the stock is falling, someone is buying it. Let us head to ARK Invest to see its latest moves. ARK sold shares in BitMine, Immersive Technologies, Robinhood Block, and Bullish, and purchased SpaceX shares worth $14.5 million, as well as Circle shares worth a total of $43.5 million. So those are the latest moves from ARK Invest, the company of Cathie Wood. Since we mentioned Robinhood, let me tell you that it recorded the best quarter in the company's history, posting record quarterly revenues of $1.31 billion in the second quarter, up 32% on a year-over-year basis, surpassing Wall Street's estimates of $1.26 billion. The reason it achieved and exceeded its target is Robinhood Chain, which has been performing very well since it launched. Continuing with our company news, the time has come to talk about a company that will affect Zcash. That company is Fortitude. It should be noted that this company agreed to purchase 9,000 BitMine Antminer Z15 Pro miners for $31.5 million. This is a move expected to more than double the company's previous Zcash mining capacity. BitMain is expected to ship 3,000 of these miners in October and the remaining 6,000 in November. This will add 7.56 gigahashes per second to the company, as I will call it for now. According to the announcement, it could increase the company's mining capacity by 145%, bringing its total share to 12.8 gigahashes per second. Based on the current hash rate of the Zcash network, this would represent more than half of the network's computing power. If we go and look at one of the many Zcash block explorers, we will see that the hash rate sits at approximately 22 gigahashes per second, give or take. As you can understand, one company will hold a very large share of Zcash mining, and this makes Zcash centralized in this area, as you can appreciate. That is not a good thing for a coin that is based on privacy and anonymity. Moving on from Zcash, it is now time to talk about a new Aave proposal that will affect $98 million, and some of that money may be yours. Aave has proposed to remove dozens of low adoption reserve assets and to discontinue support for 6 blockchains in a governance initiative that will affect approximately $98 $8.1 million in supplied assets and $15.6 million in outstanding debt. What has essentially happened is that this proposal would remove 50 distinct low adoption tokens across 11 different chains. I will have the official document linked below in the description, where we can see, for example, that from the Ethereum core network. They are considering removing certain coins, one of which is, for example, EBTC, due to low adoption. They will do the same across the other networks, and that is why I will have this document in the description below, so you can see which networks and which coins will be removed. This way, you will know which coins and networks you should withdraw your funds from if this proposal passes. What they will remove entirely are 6 smaller networks. Specifically, they will exit Sonic, Scroll, Zcash, Metis, Sonium, and these networks hold 25 different tokens which will be completely removed. All of this, as I mentioned, is due to the low adoption that Aave sees with these networks and tokens, essentially saying there is no reason to keep supporting them. For the last piece of news today, we head to Ethereum, which is turning 11 years old. Ethereum launched on the 30th of July, 2015, and yesterday was its birthday. It is now 11 years old, and here is to many more. The particular article covers recent developments in Ethereum, which we have already covered in CRYPTONEWS, so we will not waste your time going through them again. Moving on to our beloved crypto market, let me tell you that Bitcoin is sitting at $64,000, with the price having reached $65,000 yesterday, thanks to the PCE data, which came in within market expectations at 3.7%. Very nice numbers. It should be noted that this helped a little, as the statistics show the probability of not seeing an interest rate cut in 1 month at 36.6%. However, we still have 47 days until the interest rate decision, so everything can change. Finally, let me mention that this small rally in Bitcoin to $65,000 also triggered many liquidations in Bitcoin and Ethereum, totaling $286 million. And speaking of the market, today the Bank of Japan will also make its decision on its own interest rates, which could also affect us depending on what they announce. That wraps up the top news for crypto. Today is the 31st of July, 2026. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.